So thank you very much for coming this meeting. This is the first meeting of the data space working group of Asia Open Data Partnership. And my name is Noboru Koshizuka. I will serve as a organizer of this working group. And I think first of all, I would like to introduce some people related to this working group. I am an organizer of this working group. My name is Noboru Koshizuka from the University of Tokyo or Japan. And also the coordination of this working group, working as a secretary, first of all, the Erika-san. Yeah. And also from Japan, the Professor Kazuma Hatano-san. He's also working for coordinating this working group. If possible, please introduce yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
My name is Kazuma Hatano. As Professor Koshizuka introduced me, I'm an associate professor of University of Tokyo, and my expertise is rising ICT policies. We are looking forward to working with you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. And today's meeting, we have two speakers. The first speaker is me, and another speaker is Mr. Odagiri-san from IPA Japan. So if possible, Odagiri-san, introduce yourself in short. Okay, yeah, please.
Thank you for kind introduction. My name is Mirai Odagiri. I'm a Deputy Director General of the Digital Infrastructure Center at the IPA. Thank you for giving me such a very good opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And today's program, now Erika-san is showing the slide showing the program of today. This meeting started 18:30 in Japan time. And the first 10 minutes, I would like to introduce this working group. What is this working group and activity objective or such kind of things? And the first talk is by me. Its title is Introduction to Data Spaces. What data spaces are and Data EX. Data EX is an initiative in Japan for data spaces. So in this talk, I would like to introduce for example, the definition or concept of the data spaces and an example of initiative Data EX in Japan. And second speaker is by Mr. Mirai Odagiri-san. His talk title is Data Space Initiative by IPA, Information Technology Promotion Agency, Japan. And after that, we would like to have some question and answer and general discussion of data spaces. And after that, closing remarks. Yes. So I would like to start the first agenda, introduction to the data space working group. So please give me, yeah, thank you very much. I would like to share. This is WebEX. So WebEX, yeah, this. So WebEX, Zoom, Google, everything, the method is different. And this is WebEX. So now I'm arranging my computer screen. Yeah. So this is the data space working group, the first meeting. And this is a program, and the overview is this. So the issue of this working group is data space. And this data space is a concept of data platform offering both multi-organizational agreement and technical infrastructure to facilitate trusted data sharing between two or more participants. They're forming a value creating ecosystem, including business model. So not only technology infrastructure or technical system, but also this includes a business model or business schemes. So in Europe, I think the data space concept come from Europe, and in Europe there are many initiatives already related to these data spaces, such as a very famous one is Gaia X and IDSA, International Data Space Association, and Catena X, Manufacturing X, Fireware, and Eclipse. So there are some other initiatives. And also in Asia, for example, in Japan, Data EX, and this is by Data Society Alliance, and Uranos ecosystem. It's led by Ministry of Economy and Trading and Industry, METI, in Japan. And these are the example of the data space initiatives in Japan. And also in OECD, IAP, Institutional Arrangement of Partnership, is a new activity to realize DFFT, Data Free Flow with Trust. And this IAP concept and vision is similar to data spaces, but this IAP is a very, very international activity in OECD. This activity has started this year. I think the last month or April or May is the first meeting of IAP. And so in this AODP, Asia Open Data Partnership, we would like to start this new working group, data space working group, in which we will study and share information and knowledge about data spaces and discuss the role of open data in data spaces. And also, we would like to discuss how Asia should deal with these data spaces. And we are planning to have 3 working group meetings in this year, AODP. And the result of discussion will be input to the AODP Summit 2024. This will be held October. The date is fixed October 8th and 9th, 2024 in Tokyo. So we are hoping that many people will join this working group. And this is a working plan. The organizer is me, Noboru Koshizuka, University of Tokyo. And also I am AODP Summit of this year, chair of this summit. And the secretary is Erika-san and Kazuma-san. And the working plan, we would like to 3 working group meetings before the summit. The first meeting is today, June 4. The discussion issue is introduction, kickoff, and we would like to share the vision and the trend of data spaces. And the speaker will be University of Tokyo and IPA, Japan. And we are planning second working group meetings in July. In this meeting, we would like to share information about data space case study with European activity. So I would like to invite speaker from IDSA German, and Luxembourg, European Activity of Data Space. I would like to invite a guest speaker from this organization. This is a July 2nd working group meeting. And third working group, it will be September, because August is summer vacation for Japanese people. So the September. In September, I hope if some AODP partner is dealing with the initiative or activity related to or similar to data spaces, I would like to invite as a speaker for sharing information about such kind of activity. So please consider if someone can make talk in this working groups. And all working group will be held online like this during 18 to 20 Japan Standard Time, and in Taiwan time, the 17 and 19. Sorry, today 30 minutes delay because I have another meeting late. So I have delayed this meeting 30 minutes. And after these 3 working group meetings, I would like to make a working group report by this working group, copyrighted this working group. And for example, the tentative title is, for example, the possibility of data spaces in Asia. And I would like to input this working group report to ODPT 2024 summit. And we would like to discuss this issue also in this summit. This is my plan. And so do you have any question or comment on this issue? Okay. So we hope and we expect so some or many speakers for this third meeting from Asia for data spaces. Yeah, okay. Yes. So so this is a program of today, and already finished the first topics, the introduction to the data space working groups. So next, I would like to introduce data spaces, the concept and the vision, and some example of initiatives. So the title is Introduction to their data spaces, what data spaces are, and what are data EX. And I would like to, firstly, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Nobuko Shizuka. I'm a professor of the University of Tokyo and also a chair of the Data Society Alliance. And this Data Society Alliance is developing and operating data space initiative in Japan. The name of the initiative is Data EX. It's a completely cross-domain global data spaces we would like to establish. And this Data Society Alliance is the organization for this initiative. And I am a chair of this Data Society Alliance. And also some director or a chair of several organizations, but all organizations are related to data spaces or data sharing or data distribution platforms. And I am a professor of the University of Tokyo, belongs to working for the University of Tokyo. Yeah. So, and so the first three I would like to talk about the background. I think this is very well known and very popular things. I think firstly, I would like to say now is the era of data. Era of data, not the era of microcomputer, era of internet, but today or in the near future, I think this is an era of data. Because the number of data, the amount of data is growing much and much and much currently. And this is slide show an example of such kind of data growth. So now is the number of data, the amount of data become greater and greater and greater exponentially, I think. And from the view of the economy, I think, for example, many recent well-known innovation are all data-driven, I think. So, for example, the COVID-19 vaccine, automatic driving technology, and smart city, and generative AI, all these kind of innovation need big data. So big data is a core value for this new well-known innovation. So from this point of view, I think that now is the era of data. And for example, this is an example in Japan, example of data-driven innovation. For example, this slide, the left side, the commute trucks, remote operation, remote monitoring of big machine, and smart agriculture, and automated equipment monitoring in factory and plant. And Amazon Go is not not Japanese example, but this is automated retail shop example, and rubbish collection example, or active assistive living example, or emergency medicine, business optimization, smart maintenance, healthcare, logistics, smart building, smart house, tourism, transportation, assistive technology, and more and more, all very data-driven innovation. This kind of services needs much data or big data. So now is era data. But the most important problem in this era of data is the silo of data. Because everyone think that data is very, very important. Data is very, very valuable. If data is important, if data is valuable, so let's enclose the data inside of the company or inside of the organization. Let's close. So that the very, very popular tendency. Well, popular behavior of company or organization. So now in our country, and I think in other Asian country or European country, many countries, so there are many side of data. So data is separated for each organization or each company. So we cannot share data beyond the company or beyond the organization. So this is a very important problem for the era of data, silo of data. So we must disclose this silo of data. So our ultimate goal is data sharing platform or data distribution platform. And also open data is also one very important method for this data silo disclosure. So our goal is to disclose this data silo and to have a large data platform. We can share much data beyond the organization, companies, also countries. So such kind of data platform is necessary. Next problem is how we must do this enclosure. So the important answer is data spaces. So data spaces is a new digital platform concept and vision and implementation for disclosing silo of data. So firstly, I would like to define some concepts. And what is the data spaces? I think this page is very, very important because this is a definition of data spaces. So firstly, the data space is a mechanism to realize with the vision of data sharing and data distribution and data-driven economy. Economy also is not only technology, but also economy, vision of economy is involved. And also the governance rule. So not so free or not so anarchy, but we need governance rule. This is also very important. So if we would like to do some business in this on this data spaces, we need rules. Anarchy situation is not so good, and I think the internet a little bit anarchy, too anarchy. So we need some trust and such kind of rules. For data space can be defined as a 3-point: data sharing, distribution, data-driven economy, and governance rule. And this mechanism include digital technology platform, and also organizational platform. Both platform is included in this concept of data spaces. So not only the computer system or network system, but also the organization or committee or rule-making organization or rule-making system. So in combine of these two organizational mechanism and technology mechanism, we call this data spaces. And in these data spaces, there are several important concepts. So for example, first one is data sovereignty. I think the European country is pushing this concept very, very much. data sovereignty, because they think that the internet is too free and too anarchy. So we do not have sovereignty for our data. They are thinking. So data sovereignty is very, very important. So, and the data spaces is a very good concept for realizing data sovereignty. And here the data sovereignty means data owners can control their data by themselves. So I can control my data by myself, and you can control your data by yourself. So to assure this concept is very important, and this is the data sovereignty. So some company can control the company's data by themselves. So that's the important concept of data sovereignty. And second important concept is the trust and reliability. So internet is too free and do not have not so trust. So many fakes, many illegal data. So we would like to make this data spaces for trust and realize trust and reliability. So authenticity of data provider and authenticity of data users are guaranteed. So certified provider and the certified user can join these platforms. So this is a trust and the reliability and the governance. The third one is governance rule. Control the flow or usage of data in compliance with local law. Local law means Japan have a law of Japan, and Taiwan has the law of Taiwan, and Singapore has a Singapore law. Thai law, Vietnam law. Each country have each local law. So in compliance with each local law is also very important concept. Not so global rule, but also for each local law, in compliance with each local law is also one important concept. And fourth concept is federated architecture. This is a concept of technology. I think that we would like to disclose the data silo, but we do not collect data in one place. So not centralized, not centralized architecture. So data are not collected into one place. Data distributed. Data is managed by each company or each individuals, each countries distributedly. But we would like to federate all of them. So this is technology architecture is federated architecture. This is the fourth concept. And fifth one is equality. Equality is also very important in the data spaces. Equality means everyone can join with, for example, the simple technologies. So we think that technology for data space should not be so difficult, should not be so expensive. It should not be so complicated. So we should use very simple and easy to implement technologies. So this concept that with this concept, anyone can join the data spaces. So for the equality, this kind of simple technology is very important. And openness, that everyone can join from anywhere in the world. So openness is also an important concept. And also interoperability. This is, I think, core concept because we would like to disclose data silo. So to disclose data silo, interoperability among the silos, the interoperability among the silo, we can disclose the silo. So interoperability of technology and interoperability of rules is very, very important. So this kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think that this 7 concept is very popular concept for data spaces, or data spaces would like to realize this 7 concept. Yeah. So, but this is my view or our view. And the data space come from Europe. So how Europe define in these data spaces. I think this slide comes from the IDSA, International Data Space Association. It's a Germany organization of data spaces. And it's a little bit academic and focus on the technical issues. And their view for data space. This slide, in the right side, shows the concept. So IDSA said that a data space is the sum of all endpoints that are able to share data with each other. A little bit complicated and difficult definition. Sum of all endpoints. Endpoint means each organization or each company having their own data, and such kind of organization are managing their data by themselves. They have data sovereignty. That's an endpoint. So this kind of all endpoints, the collection of the all endpoint and federated. So this means like this kind of meaning. So data space is the sum of the all endpoints that are able to share data with each other. And in this slide, five features, five characteristics. First one is decentralized, centralized, and federated data architecture. And so all mixed. So no physical data integration. Leave data where it is. So if the data is in one company, so the data is located in company and managed by the company. So this means leave data where it is. And interoperability, no silo, no vendor dependency, and data sovereignty and traceability, and trusted participants. So data provider and data users, all trusted participants. And usage control on the basis of some rules. So usage control for data as economic asset. So because data is economic asset, so we must control its usage. So usage control is very important in this data spaces. And the left side of this slide shows a very, very abstract concept. I think this picture showing the federated architecture. And the red circle is the endpoint. And the endpoint is connected to the line. So all endpoint is connected with each other, and the federated data sharing is realized. So like this picture. So this is a view from the IDSA of the data spaces. And there are some slides for explaining this concept. I think this slide shows a federated architecture. For example, if we would like to disclose data silo, normally we think that let's collect the silo of data in silo into one place, and we would like to establish a large database. This is a centralized, conventional or centralized approach. But this approach becomes a very, very monopolized situation. That data platformer, or such kind of a big monopolized player will appear this model. So everyone do not like this conventional centralized, maybe monopolized data platform, and everyone likes distributed and decentralized, federated data platform. It's a data space. So in this picture, the lower side is data management. And the upper side, so lower side, the icon is a hard disk, and the upper side is the icon of the users, the human, and the upper side is the user, and below side is the data provider. So data provider is distributed, and all data is located in this distributed data platform, and each data platform or each endpoint have an API, a application programming interface. And using this application programming interface, user can access the data of each companies. So from the viewpoint of data provider, this is a distributed data management. But from the view of data users, the data user can see this system as a one big data platform. One big data platform. So this is a federation technology. From the view of the user, it is integrated. But from the view of the data provider, it's a distributed. So distributed and integrated. So the federated data platform architecture or technology enable the difference. Yeah. And so this means I think this kind of the data spaces will become a new global or digital platform in the world. And European people and we are thinking that this data space will become a new, very important global or data platforms. So conventionally now is, for example, the era of internet, that we have a cooperative layer of data technology. We have a network layer. This is the internet, this layer. And upon this cooperative layer of the internet, there are competitive layer. It's a business layer. And an important player of this competitive layer is, for example, GAFA, Google or Amazon or Microsoft, Apple, and such kind of player is a very big player for this competitive layer. But they are established upon the cooperative layer of internet. But now I think internet, the service and function is too low or too low, less abstract. We need more high level or high layer, upper layer infrastructure. This is the data spaces, I think. Because the internet, so internet and the data space, I think data space is just in the middle of the internet and the competitive layer and the cooperative layer. And this layer provide a platform for data sharing or data distribution, data sharing, or so such kind of function. And the internet provide a sending message to any host all over the world. That's the function, basic function of internet. So message sending. So sending message is an internet function. And data space function is sharing data, distributing the data. So the difference of the internet and the data space is like this. This shows the difference between internet and the data space. For example, the concept and the value layer. The internet most important concept or most important value is openness. Anyone, anything, anywhere. That's very important concept and value of the internet. And in case of data spaces, I think sovereignty is a very important concept. So I can control my data. You can control your data by yourself, by myself. He can control his data by himself. So such kind of sovereignty is very important. So openness is a core value of internet, and sovereignty is a core value of data spaces. And the culture, in the culture layer, the internet and free is a very good culture and behavior. And it may be some kind of anarchy. But in case of data spaces, trust is important. So, and free and trust I think it's very opposite side. I think so internet free is important, data space trust is important. And for subject, the internet, it may be anonymous. I don't know who he is or who she is. It's a very anonymous user is allowed. But in case of data spaces, certified organization and certified individuals can access the data. So it's a trust and certification. And object, it means data. Maybe in the internet, there may be illegal data or some fake data. So data is not so reliable with no trust. But in case of data spaces, certified data, legal data, the data spaces would like to deal with only certified legal data. And technology model. In the technology model, the internet is a message passing model. So sending message to some receivers. So IP layer or internet protocol assuring this message passing function. And in case of data spaces, the functional layer is a little bit high, and on the message passing layer, they would like to provide a data sharing layer. Data sharing layer is a shared memory or shared database model. So in the internet, sending message, but in case of data spaces, putting data or getting data, putting some data X and getting some data X from this data pools. It's like a data pool. So in the internet, in the message passing model, there are no pool. So this is the difference, I think, the concept of the internet and the data spaces. So, and now in the world, there are many initiatives for the data spaces. I think the left side is a conventional in the present global mega platformer in the era of internet. Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, Google, this kind of platformer is very big. And also now the era of data, so this kind of data spaces is very important. And on the right side, each logo is showing the initiative of data spaces. I think the player completely different. Not such kind of the big platform, not a company, but also the international initiative for data spaces. I think this kind of initiative is a joint project with government and the industry. I think in case of Europe and in case of Japan, this situation is almost the same. And I would like to talk about the technology of data spaces. So as mentioned before, in the data spaces, from the view of data provider, it's a distributed system. Data is distributed to each company or each organization. They manage by themselves distributedly. And from the view of the user, from the view of the data user, it is like a data pool, single integrated data pool. So if some user can specify the data ID in this data pool, they can retrieve the data from this data pool. So in this picture, the data user Ken is retrieving data X001 by specifying the data ID X001. So this kind of the global data ID is very important, this wide area data pool, and they can retrieve or they can deal with data by specifying the data ID. So it's like a single wide area data pool. But this data is all physically distributed. So to say the truth, the physically the data is all managed by distributed tree, and so distributed and integrated. So virtualization technology is necessary. So here data EX is a platform in Japan of the data spaces. So there's the data platform providing this virtualization mechanism for this data space. So I think this picture is showing now without virtualization of the data spaces, now there are so many distributed silos. For example, this picture, the silo by Alice, silo by Fu, and the silo by John, and they are managing their own data by themselves. If we would like to retrieve or acquire data from each silo, we must communicate to each organization independently. So in this case, the user can want to download the X001 data, they must contact to John, and in this case, John will provide the data to Ken securely or trustedly, they will make some account and password and download link by only Ken. And this kind of security information is sent to Ken, and Ken will download this data. So it's very complicated, annoying process for getting data. This is a current status. And if we have data spaces, the all distributed data silo is connected by very, very small software component like connector. The connector can interpret the API, the local API to data space common API. So they can speak common API and common data format. And so every silo have a standardized API and standardized data exchange is possible using this. So this small component, the connector, is a key component for these data spaces. And also common data services, the data catalog or authentication server for global or single sign-on, and log server for trust API exchange. So such kind of common service is also necessary for operating the data space. So this is a mechanism, overall mechanism of data spaces. And so connector is very important core modules, core component. And domain specific, it translates the API and data format of between the domain specific existing local data platform and cross-domain global data space. So just in the middle of the boundary of local system and global system, the connector will make a translation, API translation or data translation between them. So they are the basic functions. And for example, in Japan, we have finished the implementation of connector modules in national government R&D project. It is called as CADDE. We pronounce this terminology as JADE 4.0. This is an open source software, and it is opened in the GitHub site, this URL. So if you are interested in Japan connector component, you can download the all source code from this site. And also specification book. No. This slide shows the document of the specification of the data space in Japan, and also this slide shows the source code of data space connector component in this URL. You can download the source code and you can run the source code of connectors. And I think this video is a demonstration of data space system in our university, in our laboratory. Now, so GUI web application, this is the authentication. So trusted user, only certified trusted user can access the data space. Now he can access the data space. And firstly, the searching for the data catalog. And we can find 3 data sets, and each data set has 1, 2, 3, 4 data file, 2 data file, 1 data file. And so we can find the data by the data catalog, and if push this button, we can download data file. So it's success. So because this data retrieval is allowed by the authorization. And the next example, prohibited data transfer. So firstly, the same way, the searching data, the using data catalog, 2 data set and 2 data file or 3 data files. And next, data transfer. This is prohibited, so error code is shown. So this is a very, very simple, but you can see this system is a very normal integrated data download platform like a HTTP server or FTP server. then you can access a specific site, searching data, then download. Maybe normally it's a single integrated system, but this data space, from user's view, it's a single integrated system, but physically it is distributed implementation. So we can find three data set in this system, but all three data sets are managed distributedly. And we have federated all three data platform into one integrated user's view. So this is the data space. So it's very good to realize data sovereignty, but it is very easy to use data. So this kind of environment is very, very important. So this is the concept and the implementation of data spaces. And nextly, I would like to show some example of the initiative of data spaces in the world and in Japan. And for example, this is the logo of the initiative of data spaces in Europe, Gaia-X and the Data Space Business Alliance, Data Space Support Center, IDSA, Manufacturing X, 5-Year Partner X, Agri Data Space, Health X, EONA X, Mobility Data Space, Equus Foundation, 5-Year Foundation. So many data initiatives. I think it may be more than 100 initiatives in Europe of the data spaces, I think. And Europe are pushing their concept of data space to the world. For example, IDSA now has established many hubs, many local hubs all over the world. And also Japan, in our University of Tokyo, we have a IDSA Japan hub. And in case of Asia, I think that in Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur, there are IDSA Malaysian hub have already established. And also China hub, there are also China hub, the mainland of China. And also the Gaia-X have many Gaia-X hub, and 5-Year have iHub. iHub networks all over the world. So I think that Europe are very pushing their concept of this data space. And the most important point is that in Europe, so many people are joining this example, this initiative, because the below of the picture of this slide shows a picture of data space symposium in this year, March. I have joined this symposium and have a keynote speech in this symposium. And the number of audience is more than 800. So 800 people are joining for this data space symposium. So many engineers, many officers, so many companies are joining this data space initiative in case of Europe. So it is a very important situation. So I think that how about Asia? How Asia do on this issue, on this situation is, I think, very important. So I have established this data space working group in this AODP. And technology standardization has already started. So many projects of standardization projects of data spaces, ISO and IEC, so JTC1, World Wide Web Consortium W3C, IEEE, TM Forum, European Commission, and so many standardizations. So the technology leadership of this data space technology is owned by Europe. So how to react to this situation, the Asia react this situation, I think it's very, very important. So, and I think that your question is, how about the United States? How about the United States? And I don't know how United States is think about these issues. I don't know, because the United States says that this kind of data platform should not be dealt by government or public sector. It's a data layer is a competitive layer, United States thinks. But the European community is thinking that data layer is a cooperative layer like internet. But the United States says that the data layer is a competitive layer like GAFA. Such kind of big platformer should manage data spaces. So the US vision, vision of the United States and the vision of Europe is completely different. I think in case of China, I think the country, the government should control data. I think they will think. Yeah, so I think the three big players are thinking of different things, has different vision. And initiative of data spaces in Japan. In Japan, we have many initiatives. Data EX, Learns ecosystem, DSpace, e-government, MLIT data platform, Plateau, Agri, agriculture or disaster, industrial data spaces, personal data spaces, fishery data spaces, green or carbon neutral data spaces, so transportation, many data spaces also in Japan. And in case of Japan, the data space initiative is divided to three layers. The first layer is the domain-specific data exchange platform layer. And the second one is a half domain specific and half domain independent. So domain agnostic and data with half and half. That's the second layer. And the third layer is a completely cross-domain and domain agnostic cross-domain platform. And so there are so many domain-specific data space initiative, and also the completely cross-domain, the third layer platform. I think the Data EX is only one, I think. And the Data EX is our DSA, Data Site Alliance activity, I think. So some example I would like to show. This is a domain-specific data spaces. For example, eGov, GoJP. This is a government open data platform. And this is a local government open data platform, already more than 1,000 now. And public transportation open data platform. So industrial value chain initiative. This is a data space for industrial domain. And the Plateau geographical domain. And the disaster domain SIP4D. And WAGRI is a data space for agriculture domain. And Data Green Digital Consortium is a carbon neutral or green. And TDPF, local government, so many. And Orden, Osaka, Sawachi for agriculture. And domain specific, domain agnostic one, the Data EX, the ESA is the only activity. And we would like to establish globally the Japan data spaces. So it's a federated architecture. And this is the organization of the Data EX, our project, the DSA. I'm a chair, and Okui-san and Mano-san is a very important core members of this project. And a very famous big Japanese company and European or US company are joining our initiative of data spaces. And so I am a professor of the University of Tokyo. Our University of Tokyo have an initiative for data spaces. So for example, the international activity, the IDSA Japan Hub. IDSA Japan Hub is located in University of Tokyo. And this picture shows the inauguration meeting of IDSA Japan Hub. So the half of the members come from IDSA Germany and half come from the Japan. And this is a community of the data spaces, joint community of German and Japan. Yes. And this is a picture of the panel discussion. And we are providing a technology test bed by our university. So in our university, we are running many systems, IDSA system, 5-year system, Japan JAD systems. So everyone can test using this test-based technology. And for the international collaboration, the DSA, we have international collaboration by DSA with the 5-year foundation and the IDSA and the Gaia-X. And also we have now a roundtable from European organization and Japan about data space initiative. I think now the more than 20 important organizations or 20 important initiatives are joining this roundtable meeting. And this is a regular meeting twice in 1 year. I think the AODP summit will be held October 8 and 9. And this roundtable meeting will continuously, we will have, and October 10 and 11 is the next roundtable meeting. So we would like to exchange members from this European initiative and the AODP initiative. So please, AODP member, join this European meeting. We would like to invite, and also we would like to invite the European people as a speaker to the AODP meeting. So now we are planning. And this is a data space symposium in Darmstadt and Germany. And we Japan members are invited, have been invited to this symposium. And I made a keynote speech in this symposium. And I think this is a IDSA Malaysian hub. And in Malaysia, IDSA data space organization has already established in Malaysia. And I think the Europe and Japan and the one-to-one relationship. But in case if Asian country can join this activity, so many country to many country activity. So I think it is very difficult to one-to-one collaboration. So we need like international hub organization. It's like an international DA50 platform. And OECD now would like to establish this kind of international hub organization. The name is IAP, Institutional Arrangement of Partnership. Yeah, yes. And there are some document for proposing to establish IAP. And now April, DF50 community of experts in OECD has started for this international collaboration. And I am consuming much time. And I would like to discuss today, after that, this point. I would like to hear the following point from some members of this meeting. The example of data sharing, exchange, and distribution infrastructure platform in Asia. For example, the data platform or data marketplaces or information bank or data space, such kind of data platform example. And I would like to know how about the similarity or a common point between this kind of infrastructure platform and data spaces. Data space concept and vision I have provided now. So if you have comment of your platform and the data space relationship for similarity, I would like to know. So that's all. So I'm sorry that. This is the first talk, so I must make a very important introduction to data spaces, definition, vision. So it takes much time. So this is the end of my talk. And I would like to receive question and answer after the all lecture have finished. So I would like to, so time is so past. So I would like to go to the next speaker, Odagiri-san. Sorry to wait, wait you to wait. So let's have a talk with your presentation. The floor is yours, please.
Okay. First of all, thank you for giving me such a good opportunity. My name is Mirai Odagiri, Deputy Director General of the Digital Infrastructure Center at the IPA from July 2023. Today, I will introduce you all to the data space initiatives by IPA. When I say I belong to IPA, many foreigner people say, yeah, I know IPA is a white beer, India Pale Ale, right? But this time, IPA stands for IT Promotion Agency. So today, I would like you to know about IPA and data spaces. First, let me introduce myself, Lilo. My first career is Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry, METI. I was responsible for Cool Japan policy and IT, AI, Human Resources Development policy, and SME policies. SME stands for Small and Medium Enterprise Policy. And in the middle of my career, I was appointed as the Executive Secretary to the Parliamentary Vice Minister of Economy, Trade and Industry of Japan. And now I am temporarily transferring from the Ministry of Economy to the IPA now. So I belong to IPA now. And my responsibility is data space and AI safety and so on. And in addition to that, I am also a visiting fellow at the Institute for Future Initiatives, the University of Tokyo. The main research is the cultural economics policy, and I will publish a co-authored book entitled Cool Japan Strategy this June. This is an overview of government organization for digital technology. At the cabinet level, or cabinet office, science and technology is in charge of AI. In addition, digital agency was established in 2020, and digital agency is in charge of digital and data. Plus, in National Information Security Center is responsible for security. At the ministry level, Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry, METI, is responsible for data space, software, and digital transformation, and so on. And we, IPA, IT Promotion Agency, is mainly responsible for implementing digital strategy and policies and so on. Moreover, IPA is not a private company, not ministries, but independent administrative agencies. So far, METI has only jurisdiction over IPA. But in the future, the digital related law will be revised, and the digital agency will also have a jurisdiction over IPA. So in the future, we think that we would like to work closely with the digital agency. This is the overview of IPA. Over 600 specialists work in IPA. And IPA has 5 centers, such as the Digital Architecture Design Center, DADC, and Digital Infrastructure Center, DISC, and so on. And I belong to DISC, and the DISC is in charge of AI system and the data space and the software engineering and the digital transformation and so on. This is the mission of the IPA. First, sorry for there are too many letters and too many sentences. And IPA will create an ecosystem where data and human resources can collaborate and circulate by connected to industry, academia, and government. I will not explain things in detail. IPA mission is 3 main points. First, IPA will create a community for public-private cooperation to achieve total optimization. The second, IPA will follow their platforms for making people's lives more comfortable and creative with digital. Lastly, IPA will provide a digital platform, human resources, and security for the infrastructure of the digital society. This slide has a lot of records, but IPA activities, three main points. As you can see, the central side provide digital platform and develop digital human resources and ensure cyber security. We will provide the platform for the achieving of Society 5.0 by designing the architecture of society and developing data spaces. And next, we will accelerate the development of digital human resources to create new value through DX and innovation. Finally, we will enhance cybersecurity with increasing risks by real and cyber convergence. Many foreigner people say, which is difference? What is the difference between DADC and DISC? DADC stands for Digital Architecture Design Center, and DISC, Digital Infrastructure Center, was established under IPA in July 2023. In a sense, it has passed for only 11 months. So in terms of load sharing, DADC and DISC share the same value and mission. But DADC, Digital Architecture Design Center, mainly focus on the project-based work, such as deliverables of prior project based on corporate needs. On the other hand, DISC mainly takes a more long-term perspective with non-project-based tasks, such as the establishment of digital infrastructure, standards, specifications, tools, and so on. Basically, DADC is modeled after Fraunhofer, which is the largest European applied research organization in Germany. In terms of standards development, DISC is modeled after NIST, which provides technologies, measurement, and service in the US. NIST stands for National Institution of Standards and Technology of United States. As you can see the left side, the actual and projected amount of data created worldwide between 2010 and 2035 will increase exponentially. And the data market in the world will grow faster and faster. Especially the edge area is very important. As you can see the right side, the edge is very increasing. Because why important? Because we Japan has many sensor and actuator technologies and so on. In a sense, it's a great opportunity for Japan. From here, I'd like to share with you the issues related to digital. Unfortunately, in the IMD World Digital Competitive Ranking 2023, Japan ranked 64th out of 64, with the lowest in the use of big data and analytics and agility of companies. I think that IPA needs to promote drastically data space and various other measures to address these results. And this survey is based on a qualitative questionnaire for business manager, and quantitative indicators to determine the ranking. Japanese business managers tend to be a little pessimistic, and it has some tendency to lower the ranking than expected. But the reasons for this ranking are also mainly manifestations of low skills and conservatism and so on. This is the action plan based on the digital strategy. In June 2023, the digital agency published the priority policy plan for realizing digital society. This is effectively Japan's digital strategy. And then in December 2023, the digital agency published the action plan, which organized the matters and the issues that need to be promptly addressed. And the overall picture of the action plan is shown on this slide. I will skip the detailed explanation, but 3 points are very important. The first, the government and the related organization need to organize the data and make it open data. The second, they need develop tools and mechanisms. Finally, the government will establish the necessary structures to implement the actions. From here, I will explain our initiative on data spaces. Data space is basically a space on the internet that transcend companies and organizations. The IPA does not define the data space itself, but we use it in a broader sense. As you may all know, the big tech companies, GAFAM, mostly dominate the consumer information, and they also have a very large market capitalization. These companies themselves have a kind of data space function. On the other hand, as you can see the left side, EU has countered with this and established the Gaia X and Catena X and so on in order to try to get corporate information, B2B information. Recently, it can be said that digital competitiveness is directly related to economic competitiveness. The widespread use of data spaces will contribute to the realization of Society 5.0. Society 5.0 is the data-driven society promoted by the Japanese government, which combined economic development with solutions to social issues. Business benefit is, for example, business speed improvement and new business development and a better marketing strategy and early detection of problems and etc. etc. On the other hand, social benefit for data space is sustainable and convenient, safe and secure, and equality and less disparity. This is the reference materials. Some people say, what project is a data space in Japan? There are many initiatives like data spaces. Strictly speaking, these data spaces may not be data spaces because many initiatives don't be used connected and don't connect to Catena X and others. In each field, one or more projects are underway. And there are many data linkage projects with limited functions or regions. And in Japan, though the initiative is not progressing in terms of assumed use case in the future. I think that there are a lot of opportunities in Japan. For example, tourism in Japan. Japan is one of the most popular and attractive tourist destination in the world. If the tourism industry, the food industry, and the real estate industry could cooperate on some aspect in terms of data, they could get valuable market information about rich people. So it is important for me to create a tourism data space and so on. This is a case study, Sapporo City, a marketing optimization. This is not assumed case study, but a real case study. And this is the example of Sapporo City in Hokkaido. Sapporo City established digital infrastructure for public-private partnership. This is an opportunity to create new business by combining open data provided by the private sector with open data provided by the Sapporo City. As a concrete effort, real estate developers and restaurant combine external data such as weather data and event data from outside the Sapporo City. And this city have already conducted a demonstration experiment connecting JADE connector to the Sapporo City's digital infrastructure. As a result, Sapporo City could realize the optimization of marketing and business operations. And there is no need to develop separate interface functions for data exchange. We believe that Japan needs a space where data is safe and easy and free to use. In addition, we think that there are three important pillars. The first pillar is to promotion of data space. The second pillar is to ensure interoperability. For example, promotion of GIF, Government Interoperability Framework, and the data model. The third pillar is increasing the supply of data volumes. This is a very important pillar. This is the reference materials. GIF is a Government Interoperability Framework. It's not standard, but a reference model. And GIF is related to the NIEM of US and the CEMIC of EU. There are a lot of the merit of GIF. The advantage of GIF is reduction of design cost and time, and easy of integration and scalability, and improvement of user experience. But there are some problems with GIF because GIF is only reference model. So many employees don't use GIF because GIF is a little complex for people. So the government may need to make the use of GIF mandatory. Plus, many people don't know GIF itself. Therefore, government and the IPA need to disseminate the GIF information and hold events in terms of promotion. From here, I will explain the more detailed IPA's data space initiatives. As I said before, we launched the Digital Infrastructure Center in July 2023. and published the introduction to data space on the IPA's website in October 2023. Introduction to data space is a document provide an overview of what data space is and how data space should be, and so on. In addition, FAQ and glossary and video contents also publish the IPA's website. If you have some time, please check it out. The contents of the glossary are, for example, what is the Uranus ecosystem and ontology and taxonomy. And these words is very, very difficult for people. So glossary and FAQ is very helpful for people. This is the IPA data space initiative. DSA is a very famous association. Koshitsuka Sensei is the chairperson of DSA. And IPA and DSA co-hosted event called Data Future Conference in January 2024. And IPA signed a MOU, a Memorandum of Understanding with DSA. IPA is thinking of working closely with IDSA and other overseas organizations in the future. At the content of MOU, there are three important points. The first thing is to support the implementation and the utilization of various data utilization infrastructure to be established domestically and internationally. The second thing is to collaborate with international standardization. And the third thing is to collaboration with the promotion and education. I'm not sure whether IPA will sign MOU with an IDSA and overseas Asian organization, but if IPA makes sense to sign a MOU, IPA will do so in the future. This is the story of Digital Architecture Design Center. DADC and IPA signed a MOU with Catena X Automotive Network EV in April 2024. DADC is supporting the Uranus ecosystem, which is the interoperable data infrastructure led by METI. So the content of this MOU is related to the DADC, including the Uranus ecosystem and Catena X. And we heard that DADC and Catena X will collaborate with system connection method and user authentication method and data transfer method and so on. It is important that the European and Japanese data spaces be mutually certifiable, as carbon emissions in the future will need to be calculated on a supply chain basis rather than by individual companies. So this is the purpose of this MOU. So this MOU is very important between DADC and Catena X. This is the reference materials. What is the Uranus ecosystem? This is the METI project in Japan. And the Uranus ecosystem is a cross-company and cross-industry initiative for data and service collaboration in Japan and achieve for total optimization as Japan, not partial optimization by individual companies. In addition, Uranus ecosystem learn from platform models that use data as a source of competitiveness and achieve to create value through collaboration rather than volume data. Finally, the government implies policies and systems. On the other hand, IPA basically support implementation helped by Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry, and promote broadly the joining of private companies with a view to interoperability with overseas data collaboration initiatives. As far as we know, it seems that the Uranus ecosystem is considering starting a storage battery business that is related to battery regulation in Europe. Many people ask what is the difference between data EX and Uranus ecosystem. It is a little difficult for me to answer the question, but basically Uranus ecosystem is basically data linkage by industries, such as storage, battery, and chemicals, and so on. But in a sense, data EX may be broader than the Uranus ecosystem. Yes. This is the creation of this is the IPA's on data space initiative in fiscal year 2024. DISC is Digital Infrastructure Center is responsible for these initiatives in fiscal year 2024. We think that there are important 5 main pillars. The first pillar is creation of data space guide. The next step is to publish advanced guide for Japanese managers, business divisions, and information system divisions. In a nutshell, it is necessary for them to publish the advanced guides, not introductory materials. The second pillar is the maintenance of tool information and tool development. We will consolidate and publish tool information on GitHub or something. And we will consolidate and develop tools that are needed in Japan. Honestly speaking, it has not decided yet, but for example, we may develop some tools of validator and a converter and a data dictionary and others, but it has not decided yet. But from now on, we would like to think about it with reference to the GaiaX and IDSA and Data Spaces Support Center. The third pillar is creation of reference architecture and case studies. As I said before, DADC is responsible for architecture, design, and so on. But we, Digital Infrastructure Center, will try to develop the reference architecture for data space in Europe, such as the European Interoperability Framework and European Interoperability Reference Architecture, and so on. And we will investigate and publish domestic and overseas case studies of advanced data spaces. Okay. The fourth pillar is event planning and video creation. This event, such as the data space working group, falls into this category, though, since there is a lack of events and seminars to raise awareness about data space. IPA will publish related video content, such as YouTube or something, and hold opinion exchange meetings, study groups, and events. In terms of the events, we will think about 5 or 6 events of data space in Japan, and IPA will want to collaborate with the existing events, such as CTEC, which is a very famous event in Japan. Finally, the fifth pillar is promotion of human resources development. IPA will develop educational content and ensure that people involved in the data space have access to educational content such as YouTube or something, and learn the necessary skills such as what the data space is and how data space should be, and so on. We believe that there could be a collaboration to attract more visitors by strategically overlapping well-known events with data space events. As to issues and next action, this is a personal opinion. The first issue is staff. As I said before, we established the digital infrastructure center about 11 months ago, and we are very short of staff familiar with the data space and interoperability. So many people say, does IPA do standardization activity? But we short of the staff, so IPA will need to continue to hire some staff and upgrade the current staff. The second issue is technical matter. We could disseminate what data space are and how data space should be. But in terms of the technical document and the tool, IPA is just now starting to work on it. So IPA will work to complete it from fiscal year 2024 onward. The last pillar is collaboration with overseas. We have managed to communicate and discuss some organizations such as the IDSA, and as you can see below the picture, I have already met Prometheus X and Agriculture Hub and so on. But IPA still lacks communication and cooperation with Asian organization and others. So we would like to collaborate with the Asian organization and others. IPF does not have a good understanding of the data space situation in Asia, and the cooperation is needed, such as event. This is the last slide. I would like to hear the following point from you. How is the degree of recognition of data space in your country? For example, in Japan, it is still recognized only by some of the stakeholders. And second is, how does your government support the data space and digital infrastructure or platform? For example, subsidy and tax break. On the other hand, in Japan, there are some subsidies related to some data spaces, such as the Uranus ecosystem and so on. But the budget are very small. The final point is in which country are you having a discussion about data space and digital infrastructure or platform? IPA is basically exchanging views with the EU staffs and so on. It is already past time, and this concludes my presentation. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you very much, Odagiri-san. And I think the time is not so much limited. So we have only, I think, a 15-minute discussion. So I would like to move to the general discussion. And as I and Odagiri-san said that So data space, what is data space or and the initiative in Japan or my side or IPS side, the initiative of the data spaces. And now I think in case of Japan, for example, the open data is now in Japan, and now is a part of the, I think, data space. One example of data spaces. So open data activity is in Japan generalized, more generalized to data platform. The one type of data platform is open data, and one platform for personal data or industry data, agriculture data. So in total, it's data spaces. So it's the current status of Japan, the data related initiative. So I and also the Odagiri-san would like to have a hear about from the Asian countries or partners. How about in your country the similar initiative of the data spaces, or do you have such kind of initiative? We would like to know very much. So the next steps is I would like to ask some question and or comment, or would like to have an introduction to your country's data space related activity. Such kind of information we need. So do you have any question or comment on this issue? No? How about Erika-san?
If there is no first one, I can be the first one to have the question to our speakers. And firstly, thank you so much for providing us the very rich content to know what is the data space and what is the policy in Japan to promote the data space. And for the Noboru-san, I have a question about because in your slides you mentioned there are two kind of the open kind of the data space, and like when because before I just thought the data space is closed for some stakeholder only, but now I found the data space is like is open, but how to make sure they have the right access? Do we have the I mean if we have the different kind of the stakeholder and they would like to provide the data and the data space, what is the main technology to make sure everyone's data is safe and it will not be lost or it will not be just transferred by others? Can we share some confidential data there, or only some kind of the not quite serious data?
Yeah. I think that you might feel that you do not understand that the data space is closed or open. I think firstly of all, the data space is basically open to anyone, open to everyone. But in one data space, we must follow the rules, and we must follow the governance of the data space. So it's a participation condition for join the data space. So rule is important. So for example, the data space A have a rule A for A, data space B have a rule for B, and rule A, rule B is a governance for each data spaces. If rule A and rule B is different, the data space A and B, we cannot connect with each other because rules are different. But if we can follow the rules, we can participate in any data spaces. such kind of, this is openness. And the technology to assure such kind of trust or security is, I think, your question. And first of all, the users certification authentication is very important for the trust in data spaces. So, but such kind of authentication technology is a very popular technology. So every web service site are using. Google are also using, the Microsoft are using the such kind of personal authentication mechanism. So in the data space, most database use normal authentication mechanism. But without authentication, people cannot access their data space. Only authorized people can access. That's one technology. The other technology is authorization or usage control. So how to access data? It is controlled by access control or usage control. It's an authorization mechanism. So data space needs such kind of authorization technology. So first one, authentication technology, authorization technology, and the third one is trusted communication, trusted data transfer. So such kind of technology that we are using the blockchain technology. So the API and the API transfer logs is recorded to blockchain system. So we can assure the traceability of the data transfer using such kind of technology. So for the trusted communication, the authentication, authorization using access control and usage control, and logging technology such as blockchain. I think these are the very important trust or security mechanism for data spaces. And this mechanism enforce rules for each participant of the data space. So such kind of enforcement of the rule is very important. So such kind of trust mechanism is important. Okay. And I think that the time has passed 5 minutes for the end of this working groups. So thank you so much for joining the first working group meetings of the data spaces. We would like to close this meeting. And I think the next meeting we will have July 15 night. We are planning. So at that meeting, I would like to invite Germany IDSA people or European Luxembourg people. In Europe, the data space activity is very good. So I would like to invite them to have more interesting topics for you. So I would like to try. So please join. Many people, please join July 15, the second working group. Yeah. So okay, Erika-san. So we would like to close the meeting. So yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for joining us for this late night meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you very much.
Thank you very much.
so
Bye-bye.
Thank you. See
Bye-bye.
you. Bye bye.